It resists definition yet can be instantly recognized. It comes in many variations, yet follows certain unchanging laws. It brings rich rewards, yet it is not really a goal or a destination, but rather a process or journey. We call this journey mastery and tend to assume that it requires a special ticket available only to those born with exceptional abilities. But mastery is not reserved for the super talented, or even for those who are fortunate enough to have gotten an early start. It's available to anyone who is willing to get on the path and stay on it regardless of age, sex, or experience. The trouble is that we have few, if any, maps to guide us on the journey, or even to show us how to find the path. The modern world, in fact, can be viewed as a prodigious conspiracy against mastery. We're continually bombarded with promises of immediate gratification, instant success, and fast, temporary relief, all of which lead in exactly the wrong direction. Mastery is not some vaulted, lofty place that only the elite few ever land. The pursuit of any aim, goal, or dream, personal, professional, spiritual, in any area, is a slight-edge journey of continuous improvement, learning, and refinement. But mastery is not an exalted state that lies at the end of the path. It is a state of mind that lies at the very beginning. According to George Leonard, author of Education and Ecstasy and the Way of Aikido, mastery is the act of setting your foot on the path. As a 5th Dan black belt in Aikido and an award-winning writer on education, fitness, and personal development, Leonard has more than a passing acquaintance with mastery, and what this master has to say about the subject is remarkably liberating. There are no shortcuts, he says, no special tickets needed, and none available even if you wanted one. You don't need to be born with exceptional abilities to enter into mastery, nor is it reserved for the super talented. You don't even need to have gotten an early start. The upward journey of success on the slight edge curve is available to anyone who is willing to get on the path and stay on it. But it's only by being immersed in the process, the day-by-day progression, that you will come to know the road. That's how you will acquire and refine the skills and awareness you'll need to master the slight edge and, therefore, master your success and your life. All that's required is taking the first step. When you were a tiny child, you made your way around your world on your hands and knees, crawling. Everyone around you was walking, and one day you got it into your little head that maybe you could give that a try. And once you had that thought, you had to give it a try. It was simply the next frontier. There was no way you weren't going to master it. So, step by step, literally, you worked on developing the skills you needed to walk. You grabbed onto something above you and pulled yourself upright. You stood up, holding onto a playpen, or chair, or some big stuffed animal. You were wobbly and unsure. You let go, either on purpose or by accident. And it didn't matter which, because the result was the same crash. You fell down, and then, either right away, or later that day, or the next day, and it didn't matter when, you tried it again, and then you tried it again, and again, ... until eventually, you stood up all by yourself, no hands. Then you took a step and, in that step, according to George Leonard, you assumed the mantle of mastery. Even if external appearances didn't entirely confirm your new status. Remember, Appearances can be deceiving and almost always are. So here you are, just completing your very first step. Now, you know that the big people you've been watching go around taking one step after another. You've watched them do it. Right foot, left foot, right foot, left ... So you try. You complete that first, tentative epic-making step and get ready to swing into the next one and then crash. Try again, and again, and again. After days of sidestepping around the coffee table, awkwardly bringing one little foot out from behind the other while you hold onto mom's or dad's fingers, you eventually take your first sequence of 2 steps, then 3, and 4, and ... all alone ... all by yourself. And to the encouraging cheers and applause of your proud family baby steps ... one at a time ... and you're walking. In the process of learning to walk, did you spend more time falling down or standing up? If you were anything like most babies, you fell far more than you succeeded walked. It didn't matter. You were on the path of mastery. Did you ever have the thought of quitting? Did you ever say to yourself, you know, it looks like maybe I'm just not cut out for walking ... Oh, well, I guess I'll just have to crawl for the rest of my life, which really isn't all that bad when you stop and think about it. I'm sure I'll get used to it. Of course not. You were on the path of mastery. You were already a master now. It was only a matter of your walking skills catching up. Constantly falling down was really uncomfortable. It hurt. And you probably looked pretty silly, lying there on the floor like a beetle on its back ... But you kept at it anyway. Why? Because successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. All babies are successful. All babies are masters. We're designed that way. All babies instinctively understand the slight edge. We only let go of our natural pull towards success, our mastery, over the course of those 40,000 no's. Are there any situations in your life today where you've given up and decided to keep crawling rather than go for what you really want, what you truly deserve? Have you lost the ability to make up a goal? Go for it and get it. Why don't you do what you did when you were just a year old? The answer is both simple and sad. Somewhere along the way, you lost faith. You became too grown up to take baby steps, too sure you would never succeed, to let yourself fail a few times first. You gave up on the universal truth that simple little disciplines, done again and again over time, would move the biggest mountains. You forgot what you used to know about the slight edge. You stepped off the path of mastery. There is something treacherous about letting go of that childlike willingness to try and try again. Something insidiously dangerous about buying into the idea that'll never work for me. It is this: settling for less, settling for failure, and giving up on baby steps soon becomes a habit. The first time you give up, it's painful, but the more you give up, the easier and easier it gets. Success recedes further and further from your grasp. Can you guess why? That's right. It's the slight edge working against you. Life is heavy. ... Welcome to the 95%. But as always, all we need to do is turn the coin over to find the good news here. It is just as easy to step into the habit of succeeding as it is to slip into the habit of failing. The longer you live, the easier it can get, and you can step back onto the path of mastery anytime you want. There is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it. Napoleon Hill. Think and grow rich. We all have visions of the way we'd like things to be that are different from the way they are. It could be something as simple as wishing we weighed 10 pounds less, or something as far-reaching as wishing we could feed the millions of children around the world who go to bed hungry every night. When I sat having my shoes polished in the Phoenix airport, I couldn't have stopped myself from having a vision of the shoeshine woman's success if I'd tried. I wanted her to be successful, so much that it ached. It's that ache that we need to look at now for a moment. The ache of wanting. Having a dream is not always a matter of all roses and sweetness. Ambitions, aspirations, and desires can be uncomfortable, even painful. The word want has two meanings. It can mean you desire something. It can also mean you lack something. And in a way, those aren't really two meanings. They're two sides of the same meaning. We tend to desire what we lack, and lack what we desire. That means your dreams can be painful, letting yourself become aware of what it is that you desire, but do not presently have means experiencing the lack side of the coin as well as the desire side. It means becoming more fully aware of what you don't have. It means staring at your present reality with a sober eye and refusing to kid yourself. Noticing that you're not where you want to be can be uncomfortable. Wanting hurts. Here's an interesting thing. If putting voice to your fondest dreams can make you a little uncomfortable, it can also make everyone around you uncomfortable, and often far more so. Tell your 5 closest friends about your biggest ambition and watch how many of them squirm. Why? Because showing them your want desire also reminds them of their want lack. This is one reason that when you are formulating goals and creating a vision for your future, it's important to be careful whom you share them with. It's natural to share your enthusiasm with everyone around you. It's also useful to remember that people often tend to respond by raining on your parade. When they do, it's not out of malice or the conscious desire to blunt your excitement. More often, it's simply a form of self-defense. They'd rather not hear about the vision you have because it reminds them of the one they've lost. When you took an honest look at your life back in the previous chapter, rating yourself as being on the success curve or failure curve in different areas, you were painting a picture of where you are now. The diagram shows that as point A and where you could be. Your vision of what's possible for you in your life as point B, to the extent that there is a gap between points A and B. There is a natural tension between those two, like holding a magnet near a piece of iron. You can feel the magnet tugging at the iron, and you can feel your dreams be tugging at your present circumstances, A.